just close enough to see the other side. Looking out from within, it's so clear. Trying to live, longing to love. This world keeps on taking me into the fire. My spirit is free. Dying to live, but it's killing me. I bathe in the ocean of guilt and shame. I survive, pain remains. I cry out your name in the dead of night. You give me strength to never quit this fight. Dying to live, longing to love. This world keeps on taking me into the fire. My spirit is free. Dying to live, but it's killing me.
Talking to myself and I can't focus. Yeah, I'm broken. The door is closing. I've lost control of it. I've lost control. When things are out of reach, you bring them back to me. Back to me.
Releasing emptiness to an everlasting love. Dying to live, longing to love. This world keeps on taking me into the fire. My spirit is free. Dying to live, but it's killing me.
Okay, that was Raymond Railborn and Dying to Live. What an awesome guitar solo you got in there, Ray. I'm feeling that, man. That is a cool bit of axe work there. Okay, got your first exclusive here, guys. And it's Sketch. Do You Love Me? Hope you do.
Your disease, you're incurable. 1,000 heartbreaks and you search for more. With eyes like that, you make me vulnerable. And you know you're so uncontrollable. You got venom in your sweetest smile. With eyes like that, baby, still for a while. And you're so perfect, I don't want you to know that you know you're so uncontrollable. Do you love me? Yeah, do you love me? Yeah, babe. Really make me sweat, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, do you love me? Yeah, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, you really make me sweat, babe. Got crazy hair and I like Pokemon. I got a lot of friends that drink a lot. Got rosy cheeks because I'm running from cops. And you know you're so uncontrollable. You're the only girl that gets me off. Do you like it when I play guitar? And you're so perfect and I want you to know that you know you're so uncontrollable. Do you love me? Yeah, do you love me? Yeah, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, you really make me sweat, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, do you love me? Yeah, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, you really make me sweat, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, do you love me? Yeah, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, you really make me sweat, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, do you love me? Yeah, babe. Do you love me? Yeah, you really make me sweat, babe.
what an awesome piece of indie rock that is. Sketch, do you love me yet? Thanks for giving us the exclusive on that, guys. Okay, next up I got another exclusive for you now, and I'm gonna shut up before it starts. It's Stepford Wives, all on me on the Sunday service, yeah, with me, Grunge Norris.
From the water's edge, she knows I read the letter. In another year I'll make it better. Overcompensating in my prime for bad decisions in another life. Lord, make this feeling go. My body shaking to another soul. Because it's all of me. Things you said, I feel a river in my head. It's all of me. Things you do. Tonight I drown in a sea of booze, like a boxer who's been beat too long. Repeating verses from the same old song. You telling me I've done the right from wrong, but the river running through my head. It's all of me.
Okay, that was the Stepford Wives, all on me. We're halfway through you 4 exclusive, guys. Next up, good friend of mine from Twitter, Chris Marsden from over in Northern Ireland, otherwise known as Kippy's Muse, and this is a brand new tune that he has just released, and you can get it on Spotify and everywhere else. It's called Shadow of Myself.
In a way, I'm a washed up dog. I'm a shadow of myself. Seem to sway, it's the way I walk, it's the beat of an unfound God. And I feel for that something, and I try to pray every day. And I will wait for nothing, like nothing was ever real anyway. Mine has no reasons, brains on my brow. Where my belief in being one with all. And I feel for that something, and I try to pray every day. I will wait for nothing, like nothing was ever real anyway.
Okay, that was the awesome Chris Marsden and Kippy's Muse, Shadow of Myself. And now, your fourth exclusive of the afternoon. I'm flying, I hope you're flying too. Thanks for joining us here on the Sunday service with me, Grunge Norris, on SLE Radio.
Me today, and you're ever changing arms. Lay wherever you may. I will rest my head on your beating heart. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. Window change, gonna teach me how to fly. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. Window change, gonna teach me how to fly. Many years did pass. The old man, he had class, as he told me, shrewd from his aged mind. Never look back as white fades to black. There are some things that you will never change. Then I understood as I left my home for good and fixed my eyes on the horizon line. And freedom is a cost when memories are lost. But I'll be living until the day I die. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. Window change, gonna teach me how to fly. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. Window change, gonna teach me how to fly.
Wow. Well, there was your four exclusives, guys. I hope you like those tunes as much as I did. That was Finian and Fly. I don't think it would be obtuse to say that there was a slight Van Morrison vibe about that in a totally good way. Okay. Tough on Fridays and Leviathan. Before we take things a little bit hippity hoppity. Check.
Why I can't believe don't believe it. So let it come to me. Take me over. Pull me under. Wake left over. Let me go. Give me time to bleed. Another sin from my eyes. I don't wanna
Awesome Forest Hills there and any more. Sunday service with me, Grunge Norris on SLE Radio. We've got another 45 minutes to go before a completely brand new section for you guys that just happens to feature me. Anyway, next up, it's my little babies. It's Tough on Fridays. It's party scene.
So I was wrong, shots were strong again. The volume's up and I'm so I don't know where I go on my own. But no one really knows you, everyone is from you. I just wanna go home all alone. Sex is cool, how about you? Listen to Joyce and brand new. Who needs sleep when I could just drink? I don't know where I go on my own. When no one really knows you, everyone is from you. I just wanna go home all alone. The party scene, it's so what it seems. The party scene, it's not for me. The party scene, it's so what it seems. The party scene, it's not for me.
Tough on Fridays and the awesome party scene. Okay, it is 1818. Do you know what that is? That's 6666666. And this Leviathan the Wizard. How apt is that? Sunday service from me, Grunge Norris on SLE Radio. Thanks for stopping by. We've got loads coming up for you this evening after the show. We've got a brand new section called Morty Vicar. Talk to some of the stars of our show, which is you guys basically. So we've got a new up at 7 o'clock with me and Christopher Justin. But keep it here on SLE Radio and be sure to check that out afterwards, man. And it's proof that I get up really early in the morning. I can carry on talking, it's not Knocko's bass solo, it's fine. It's coming in and I'll drop out then. Actually, one day I will tell you guys a very funny story to do with the recording. Very. It's too long for me to go into now, but I'll share it with you one week. Okay, so that was Leviathan and our cover of The Wizard. Thanks for joining me, Grunge Norris, on the Sunday service on SLE Radio. Okay, we're taking things a little bit hippie, a little bit hoppy. Got my boy Lisa GK and Dreams, and after that we got the man like himself, Mr. Muller Mix.
But this my life.
Stop him, guys. It's cheap.
I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. Cause it may not be my day, may not be my year, but that's my life. So let's be clear, I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. If you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. No, not a whole lot, not a whole lot. Cause if you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. So I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Cause if you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, no, not a whole lot. I'ma plant the seeds, add some green to the leaves of the family tree. I am who I am, not who I got to be. Comparison is a death of creativity. The fire that burns inside me, it gives me a reason to believe. It gives me a reason to be free. Cause all I want is peace. It may not be my day, it may not be my year, but this my life. So let's be clear, I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. Cause it may not be my day, may not be my year, but this my life. So let's be clear, I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. If you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. No, not a whole lot, not a whole lot. Cause if you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. So I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Cause if you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, no, not a whole lot. So what you got to lose? Get up, get out, make moves. This is your life, it's on you. So tell me, what you gonna do on the other's true? I'm so blessed, yes sir, never stress. It may not be my day, it may not be my year, but this my life. So let's be clear, I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. I'ma chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. Cause it may not be chase it, chase my dreams with no fear. If you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. Cause if you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. So I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Cause if you quit on your dreams, tell me what you got. Not a whole lot, no, not a whole lot. So all my dreamers, repeat after me. Yeah. I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Till I'm 6 feet deep. Till I'm 6 feet deep. I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. I'ma chase this life into the death of me. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Yeah, I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Yeah, I'ma chase my dreams till I'm 6 feet deep. Yeah, I'ma chase this life into the death of me.
Alyssa GK and Dreams. Next up, we've got a man like himself from Brooklyn, Mr. Muller Meeks, Peep the Drip.
Moolah, man, ha ha, drip, drip. Moolah, man, look my wrist, it's been so lit. Yo, pocket blinded when I take a sip. I've been getting guap, now I'm getting rich. I just check my swag, man, go peep the drip. Man, lick my wrist, it's been so lit. Yo, pocket blinded when I take a sip. I've been getting guap, now I'm getting rich. Just check my swag, man, go peep the drip. Man, peep the drip. I've been getting lit. You been getting stones, and I've been getting bricks. Walking around the world like yeah, I'm the shit. I'm in New York City, so go take a flick. And they keep on saying I'm the one they miss. So they keep me on your greatest list. If you wonder where I've been, I've been stacking chips. They stay, they up, now it's moolah mix. Remember back when I came on screen. Now they look at me when I step on scene. They go blues while I'm getting green. Man, I've been throwing bills like a money machine. Man, look my wrist, it's been so lit. Yo, pocket blinded when I take a sip. I've been getting guap, now I'm getting rich. Just check my swag, man, go peep the drip. Man, look my wrist, it's been so lit. Yo, pocket blinded when I take a sip. I've been getting guap, now I'm getting rich. Just check my swag, man, go peep the drip. Go peep the drip. Go peep the drip. Go peep the drip. Go check my swag, man, go peep the drip.
On the Migs, peep the drip. I'm gonna have to ask him one day what that means. Maybe he'll come and do an interview with. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? With a Migs interview. Okay, next up, I've got SLE's very own John Best and Devil's Bed. How you doing, Bestie sir? Hope you are well up there across the border.
Down a one-way street, sun is in my face, there's a picture in my head that said, hold on, being before I find my way back home. Someday I might find my feet, pick up and race before someone shoots me dead. I said, hold on, seen it before, another life will set in stone. Don't take me away. I never knew the devil slept in my bed. Oh, don't take me away. I never knew the devil slept in my bed. Say that I'm the devil that you meet. Take a little taste before you go to bed. I said, hold on, said it before I might find my way back home. I'm a long way from all the people that you greet, held up by my grace and all the things I think she said. I said, hold on, been before, but it's better than being alone. Don't take me away. I never knew the devil slept in my bed. Oh, don't take me away. I never knew the devil slept in my bed. Down a one-way street, the sun is in my face, there's a picture in my head that said, hold on, be before I might find my way back home. Oh, don't take me away. I never knew the devil slept in
Awesome tune there, The Devil's Bed by SLE Radio's very own John Best. Okay, well, we've had a great show today. We have still got another 27 minutes of awesome new music to come for you guys. Remember, if you would like to feature your music on the Sunday service with Grunge Norris or any of the other shows on SLE Radio, then please use the uploader on the site and send us your tunes, guys, because, you know, like, you can never have too many good tunes, you know, and just the songs that you've sent us already at the station and that we're playing, you know, they're so good. And, you know, SLE Radio is just all about getting out. To be gotten out, basically. Okay, so we have got music coming up from an army of marmots, the Hikikomori Pact, Perny, Liaquat Khan, Cameron Sanderson, and a man like himself, Christopher Justin, who, if you stick with us here on SLE Radio, you will hear me interviewing in the very first. Soon Night Must Fall. What a cool title that is. Sunday service though, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving the organ. Loving it. What an eclectic little tune that is. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did too. Okay, that was An Army of Marmots and Soon Night Must Fall. Next up, we've got the Hikikomori Pact and Bridge to Nowhere. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Sunday service with me, Grunge Norris, on SLE Radio. If you're joining us on YouTube, hello to you there. If you're joining us on Facebook, and to all the folks now joining us on Mixcloud, yo, how you doing?
I held out much longer than you. Stuck the landing every time. Rolled the dice of destiny. I live my life expectancy. Your values keep shifting. No foresight to guide. Persistent denial. Self-your true self has drifted. No memory to teach. Consistent denial. Bridge to everything I do. Every path that I choose. Every win is a lose. I thought you were better than me. I virtue signal purity. Wrestled with time and passively held up the plan formalities. I became much stronger through insecurity construed, turning tricks with sleights of hand, burning pictures, changing plans. Core values have drifted, all foresight has lied, persistence denied. Bridge to true self has lifted, old memories are breached. Consistent denial, nowhere. Critiquing every move. Half-life crisis, remain shame. Memories disdain. Repeating vague claims. Senseless guidance, myopic. Dereliction of faith. Old stains wash away. Have devices pertain fame. Advantages proclaim. Blitz away the self-blame. Consequences guide surrender. Under strange masquerade. Conceals the con game.
The One.
SLE Radio.
This is The One. The one for fun, music, and more.
SLE Radio.
Feel good all night long.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up because if you ain't heard this tune, you have to hear this tune because this tune's amazing, man. This is Perny and Astral.
To the corner, waiting in this place, no trace. Being gone in the stars, astral, astronomy. Take my hand, come with me. What's the hunger? Summer beer, what's your hunger? All over my body. Constellations coming towards me, let it rise. You're the only song we're gonna see tonight. Sunlight's falling heavy from the sky. I'm afraid to ask. I don't go to a series. I'm the boss in the corner breaking. Come the call, hustle on the call, physical. Astronomer on the call, astronomy. Into space with my fingernails. In the astronomy. Let's get to space with my fingernails. I'm just gone to space with my fingernails.
Hey guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's show as much as I have. The usual here, which we love to bring you on SLE Radio. You don't really need to listen to anyone else, do you? We cater for all your long-haired needs, all your electro-head needs, all your hip. Okay, next up here we got the 0 Point Project and 3037. 11 o'clock is my exclusive interview with Mr. Christopher Justin, so keep it SLE, guys.
And they will listen. They either like it or they don't like it.
I was under the influence of love.
I would not allow that.
Baby, could you help me put these pieces back together? I've been kinda lonely while you're sleeping in my sweater. Send me all your selfies, keep my screen awake forever. I'll watch all your stories, spoon my pillow to feel better. 'Cause I've been up all night thinking about how you hold me. 'Cause I had to dream last night that we weren't really that lonely. So I bought the car and never started up. 'Cause I've been up all night thinking about how you hold me. Kiss me like you miss me, watching Deadpool 2 together. God, I miss the movies, haven't been in like forever. Yeah, I miss your body, I'm just so yeah, sure, whatever. No, but seriously, when will we be back together? 'Cause I've been up all night thinking about how you hold me. 'Cause I had to dream last night that we weren't really that lonely. So I bought the car and never started up. 'Cause I've been up all night thinking about how you hold me. Yeah. Catching breaths and taking meds, but when it's all done, I'll be your amphetamine. Catching breaths and taking meds, but when it's all done, I'll be your amphetamine. Catching breaths and taking meds, but when it's all done, I'll be your amphetamine. Catching breaths and taking meds, but when it's all done, I'll be your amphetamine. 'Cause I've been up all night thinking about how you hold me, and I know that you're not fine. 'Cause I know that you're so lonely. So I bought the car and never started up. 'Cause I've been up all night thinking about how you hold me. Yeah. Catching breaths and taking meds, but when it's all done, I'll be your amphetamine. Catching breaths and taking meds, but when it's all done, I'll be your amphetamine.
Okay, that was Cameron Sanderson and Don't Leave Your Sweater on a park bench. You know, don't leave your sweater on a park bench, because you know someone might fucking nick it. It might be a Ralph It might be a Ralph sweater or something, or just a sweater that you really like. You know, it's going to be easy. So. Anyway, we are coming up to the hour of 5 to 7 now, and it is almost time for me to bid thee farewell. But, listeners, this week I am not bidding thee farewell at the end of this show, for I will be returning at 7 o'clock, the first in a brand new section that I'm going to be doing, a supplement for your Sunday service, we'll call it, T Vicar. Okay, and in the first instalment of More T Vicar, I am going to be talking to a young man whose record is going to be coming up next, Christopher Justin. We're going to be playing One Last Time. Now, Chris is... if you didn't catch the exclusive play that we did a few weeks back, Chris is a young singer-songwriter from Auckland, New Zealand. Really talented young chap. And he gave us his first play on the UK radio of his music, which we're very grateful to him for doing so. And he also was very, very gracious to grant me my first. So, after we hear Christopher Justin one last time, you guys can tune into the very first episode of More T Vicar, where I will be interviewing the man himself in question, Mr. Christopher Justin. Hey, but for your Sunday service, that's it, guys. It's been emotional as always. I have enjoyed your company. Hope you've enjoyed mine. I'll catch you next week. For stopping by, guys. Peace out. I'm out of here.
Take your life, cut by the knife, and you think to yourself, your soul will take a dive. Gotta get out, bring it around, pushing it in, twisting again.
the best radio station on the internet.
Great music, day in, day out. It's all yours. SLE Radio.
Hey guys, it's your old buddy Grunge Norris here, welcoming you all to the very first episode of More Tea Vicar, a sassy supplement to your regular supplement of Sunday service on SLE Radio, where I'm going to be interviewing some of the stars of our show over the coming months. Kicking things off with my very first interview, and his, is Christopher Justin, a 19-year-old singer-songwriter from Auckland, New Zealand. A couple of weeks back, we were lucky enough to give Chris his first play on UK radio, and now he's been gracious enough to grant us his first ever interview. So, without further ado, let's hear what Chris has got to say. Chris, how you doing, man?
Hey man, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, man. I'm good. Well, what time is it over there?
It's 9 p.m.
Bloody hell. Oh, so you are 11 hours ahead of us?
Yes.
Please, man. Oh, well, taking time, dude. Sorry I made you wait a bit and stuff.
No worries, no worries.
I'm not a morning grunge, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, neither am I, so I can relate.
Okay, everyone, how you doing? It is, well, in actual fact, you guys, this is a bit of a world record. I am actually up before 10 a.m. in the morning, okay? You have video evidence here. I'm up before the crack of dawn. Okay, so Grunge Norris here, joining me for my first ever interview with somebody we had on his debut single on the Sunday service a couple of weeks ago, and it is Christopher Justin. Christopher hails from Auckland in New Zealand, and he is joining us from there now. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on your show.
No worries, man. Thanks for helping me crack my cherry and stuff.
Cheers.
So I've got to say, I was really impressed with your stuff, Steve. You know, I mean, particularly sort of, you know, 19 years old at the moment or 20.
Yeah, 19 though, 2 months ago.
No, that's insane, dude. we've got there's nothing of me playing guitar at that age, sort of, thankfully, in that. But yeah, so just tell us a little bit about what's happening with the record at the moment, mate. What are your immediate plans at the moment?
So my plans for now is, as you know, I've got the 2 singles out. I'm working on another 3rd single, so that's uploaded to DistroKid, my distributing platform, and that'll be out on the 25th of this upcoming month. And for the full album, it'll be released on the 6th of next month. So that's going to be, you know, the big release. That's when I'm planning to have all the songs out. People then can gauge like the whole spectrum of what I produce. You know, a bit of instrumentals here, a bit of blues and soul there. You know, just a bit of everything. Full view and a full taste of who I am.
The 2 tracks themselves. They were, you know, you had one that was quite sort of rocky, and then you had that sort of very beautiful tune as well. And would you say that's the theme that's going through the album? Would you say you're going from sort of quite different directions and bringing loads of sort of things together and fusing them all as one?
I mean, I'd say the 2 singles are the furthest apart in terms of difference in styles, because for Miles Apart, you know, I was going for the whole John Mayer Room for Squares vibe, whereas a lot of the 70s rock influence kind of went into One Last Time. And so I guess that's the biggest difference is between those 2 tracks. The album is slightly more centered, but the main focus is still 70s classic rock. And then in those tracks, there's an instrumental, which I actually dedicated to my high school. That's more of a Joe Satriani style virtuoso song. So I can't wait for that to get out and see what people think of it. But I mean, I've talked to other people about instrumentals and what they think about that kind of music. And I've heard mixed opinions, but at the end of the day, I think it's what I really like to produce and get out into the public. So yeah, that's what my album's looking like.
On your debut record, you know, because that's a very brave thing to do, Chris, to put a couple of instrumental tracks on there, you know. So
fair play to you there, man. I think that's really great. So you're talking about 70s rock there and stuff. I'm not overly familiar with many artists from New Zealand, unfortunately. However, one that I saw quite a few years back now, I don't know whether they're still sort of big over in New Zealand, the Datsuns.
Oh, I've heard of them, but I've come across a lot of 70s classic rock artists from New Zealand so far.
If you're liking the 70s classic rock thing, they're kind of doing it, in an early noughties sort of thing, and that, there's some great stuff to check out. Who else is there? Do you remember a band called D7? Do you remember D7? Have you heard of D7? They were pretty big a few years back, and that was that. Because that was around about the time of the whole sort of garage rock renaissance.
Right. Yeah. One of my high school mates, his dad's actually, he used to be the bassist of the Screaming Memes, who's like their band is also that sort of garage rock kind of thing. So that was huge in New Zealand back in the 70s and the 80s. But now I struggle to find other musicians who are into what I am into specifically.
So you have been doing this. How old were you when you first started playing guitar? No.
So the earliest known footage of me actually playing an instrument was at the age of 3, where I'm sitting next to my dad, and he's basically he's holding the chords on the guitar with his left hand, and I'm sitting on his right, just basically bashing away at the strings, trying to attain some form of rhythm, and doing so. But that's the earliest known recording of me actually playing anything. So I guess you could say I started at 3, but when I actually started practicing is a different question.
When I was your age, you have all the time in the world to play music and stuff, and then you get to my age and you're just like, everything's all compartmentalized, and you're like, oh my god, I've got 20 minutes to do this, or I've got half an hour sort of to do that. So cherish it while you can do it. So I don't know what the COVID situation's like over in Auckland at the moment, but how are you sort of off for gigs and stuff? Are you playing live at the moment? Have you got any plans to head back out in 2020?
COVID situation's pretty blown over in New Zealand right now. There's no restrictions on playing live anymore, but I do not have any plans to play live, purely because I don't think there's enough time before I head over to the US to study. And number 2 is a lot of the musicians that I used to use for live gigs are my mates, and they've gone on to do their own university stuff, and so a lot of the time they're occupied with studies or have got other meetings here or there. So
whereabouts are you going to college in the US?
I'll be going to University of Southern California, which is in LA.
Well done, man. Oh, you're going to the best place in the world. That's going to be awesome for your education and awesome musically.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that.
Wow, you must be really excited, man. That could open up quite a few doors for you out there. I think those guys are really going to love your sound as well. And that, oh man, that's awesome. Great stuff. And that. Do you think you're going to maybe go out and play a few shows in America and stuff?
I hope so, sometime in the future. Yeah, definitely. I saw a couple of students from USC doing the same program that I'm doing. They were performing at the Troubadour. They do that as like a concert annually. So I'm hoping to do that sometime in the future, and maybe even play my own music there. Yeah, that's one of my aspirations.
That's a very famous venue. I can remember, when people said about the Doors playing there, sort of back in the day and stuff. I've always wanted to play there myself. Unfortunately, I could just never find a tunnel in Mexico to get past the immigration. But never mind. Okay, going back to the record, the full record. So I believe is out on August the 6th. Is that right?
Yes.
What's the title?
The title. It's going to be a self-titled album. So I've looked at a couple of other solo artists that have come up with their own stuff, and a lot of them do have names for their own albums. Like Joe Satriani had, I believe, some other name for his first album prior to Surfing with the Alien, and then a couple of other artists had different names for their solo albums. I believe Robin Ford also has different names, but I was just thinking about going for a very set in stone thing, so people wouldn't have to get confused between say if there was another song with the same title, or if there was another album with the same title, or even an artist with that title, they wouldn't get confused. So it's probably just going to be a self-titled album with my name on it, just to say this is me and this is where I started.
And are you just going for a digital release in that, or are you doing physical as well?
Definitely digital, because in New Zealand it's a little expensive to get the CDs done as well. LP is even harder because I believe there's only one LP pressing in the whole country. So, and that's what, like $3,000 for a couple hundred LPs.
No,
so
right. It's well, I think you'll be going to the right place for CDs and records and stuff, because they're still quite big over in the US, in the United States. So maybe when you're there, you'll be able to get sort of like people pressing, man. That would be awesome.
So the goal, yeah, to get like hard copies of my music is definitely like something I do in the future, but just not right now. Digital stuff.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there, man. I know it's something you just want for your own posterity, so you can look on the shelf. See, there's the hard copy and stuff. So, who would you say then has been? Who's the reason you're making music, man? Who's the person that you looked at and you were like, you know what, that's what I want to do? Who would you say was your biggest inspiration for music?
Probably Angus Young from AC/DC. I think he was the main reason why I got into guitar in the first place. Like I said, I started at the age of 3, and I think from about that age to maybe 10 years old, I was basically only playing AC/DC and a little bit of Deep Purple as well, but basically only AC/DC, only Angus Young. Same song, jamming in my room for like hours. So I credit my influence to AC/DC, and can't forget like other influences like Deep Purple, Whitesnake, all those guys. But I'd say AC/DC is like my main influence, and Angus is the reason why I play guitar. I mean, the first proper guitar that I got, my dad bought for me was an SG anyway, and I have an SG now that's from like around the same time period as Angus's first SG as well.
Oh, wow, you got a vintage SG.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm a Fender guy myself. Tell me a little bit about your setup then, Chris. What amp you running through? What pedals are you using? Anything interesting for guitar heads at home?
Minimal pedals. I try to keep it as straight in the amp as possible. I think this comes very much from the AC/DC influence, where they just run it straight into the amp and crank it.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I did. So I have, for the album, I used a couple of guitars. I used my number one, which is a Les Paul, a 60 reissue from the custom shop. Then I used my 1970 SG. Then I used my dad's. He bought the amp quite a while ago in the 2000s, I believe. Oh, sorry, in the 90s. It is a 1980 2104 Marshall combo.
Whoa!
50 watts, 2 G1265 speakers. So it's a real vintage setup. I try to get my stuff as vintage as possible, because I mean I'm not some sort of like everything has to be vintage, but like I try to get it as close as possible.
Wow, that's I mean, so I suppose what are you using, 10s on the Gibson, and that
I use 9s across the board.
Wow, you are a traditionalist.
Yeah. I used to use 11s at one point, and then but that was when I was just basically riffing, and then I went lower. If I was only playing like AC/DC type stuff, I would definitely go 10s. But ever since I started playing Guthrie Govan, because I'm also training to be like a sessionist guitarist. That's the program I applied for at USC. I checked the lines on, because when you play Guthrie Govan and that virtuoso type stuff, your fingers will literally bleed if you do too much on those 10s. So it's nice just to have 9s as like a middle ground, because it's not too light and it's not too heavy.
Yeah, I remember someone I was in a band with, a few years back now. They always used to recount this sort of story about Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Stuff. Apparently, he uses 8s, just super light, because he was saying, And apparently he'd got onto this from somebody like Chuck Berry or someone, and Chuck was kind of like, oh, you don't want to be using those heavy strings, it's all about sort of, stroke of the strum. I think you're really brave using nines on a Gibson. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard anybody really actually go down that low on a Gibson. Do you not break a lot of strings and stuff?
It's funny actually. I've only ever broken a single string. I think that was because I was just strumming like really hard just for fun. But I've never, and I'm a pretty hard player as well. Like I wouldn't go any lighter than nines on any guitar, just because when I strum the top strings, so like the low E and the low A, they just like, when you strum them really hard, they bend the pitch up just slightly, ever so slightly, and then they drop back down to their tuned pitch. That's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't go any higher, go any lower than nines. But I'm not sure why I haven't broken strings before. You kind of know when the string's gonna break if what you can and can't do after a while, but you get used to the strings that you play, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have this problem, and my strings never used to. What they do is the lower strings, the low A, the low A, the low D. What they would do is they would wind out from the nut at the top, where it was in. So it would actually snap in the middle, and it wouldn't sort of snap at the head. What it would do is it would wind up. It would wind up from there, so you would end up with it sort of. It's like the little sort of gold bit and that goes in there. You'd end up with it. It's sort of frayed. We had your debut in the UK the other week. We were so chuffed about that at the station to have that. Have you had any more play on any other UK radio stations other than SLE? I hope you have.
Yeah. So there has been one radio station in Ireland, and then we've kind of stopped emailing radio stations for now, and we're looking into a distribution company that sends music out to other radio stations. It's like a service. So what my father has been doing, he's been emailing on what he says is a micro level. So what he does at a micro level, they do at a macro level. So they start sending it out to hundreds of stations at my choice. This is sounding like some promotion, but I'm not getting paid, I swear. But yeah, that's what we plan on doing.
Okay, awesome, great stuff. Well, I hope you're going to send all the tunes in as soon as
definitely.
Ready.
Yeah. 100%.
We'd love to play them on the show. So, what else would you like our listeners to sort of know about yourself? What else can you tell us, for our listeners at home and stuff?
Well, you can follow my social media, and I guess I just post normal live stuff on there. I post my updates about music, tell you what I'm doing, new projects that I'm doing. One thing that I would like the listeners to know is that I'm always coming up with new stuff, and I am coming up with. I've come up with a Motown vibe song. That's in the works. Very, very raw at the moment. I just recorded stuff on GarageBand because that's the only recording software that I have at home on my parents' computer. So I just I swear it's the most ghetto setup. It's just one mic through a single port user interface into GarageBand, and that's pretty much all I use. But I might not even think about using a studio to record most of my instruments because I can pretty much do it at home.
So you're doing everything yourself. You're playing the drums yourself. You're playing the bass yourself. You're doing
no. So the drums will be like, for now I've used the GarageBand like pre-recorded drums just to fill in the space. But once I get all like the guitars and the bass recorded, I'll go down to the studio to record probably just the vocals and the drums.
What do you like doing outside of music then, bro? What do you do to relax and stuff? What does Chris do to chill and stuff? Any sort of favorite movies or favorite books?
Yeah, actually, I was talking to my mates the other day about their favorite books and movies. So I'm a firm believer of of the fact that The Martian is one of the greatest books ever written. So I love that book. I've read it, I don't know how many times.
Right.
A close second, definitely Yes Minister. I don't know if you're familiar with Yes Minister, but it was an old political comedy.
What about sort of modern stuff? You a Walking Dead fan or a Breaking Bad fan or anything like that?
You know, I never got into series. I guess I'm the black sheep about compared to the rest of my friends. They're all talking about. I remember when we were still at high school, and they were always going about, the Flash or Arrow or this or that. And I would always just stand there, super awkward, just say nothing the entire conversation because I had no idea what was going on. I was like, nah, I don't watch TV.
If you watch any one of them, watch Breaking Bad. That's my gift to you today. What about any other sports and hobbies that you're into and that?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of football when I was younger. Less now, obviously, but now that school's done and the teams are gone, yeah, I love football. I love tennis. I watch it all the time. Swimming also. I used to be pretty good at swimming. That stopped as well. It sucks because when you're younger, you seem to have so much time for different things, and then when you get older, it's all exams, cramming, this and that. It's like I was recording the solo album was like a low point in my life because I was so stressed out. I remember having like a couple panic attacks during my exam period because I was trying to churn out the album, my exams because everything needed to come together so that I could apply to the US, which is my goal, the end point at the time. But it's like, yeah, when when you get older, you just find out you have less and less time.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
I wish we had 48-hour days at the moment. And you have shit like, you've got to go out and do annoying things like earn money and stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it's a right pain in the arse. Okie dokie. So when you talk about football, then are we talking about what I would term as rugger, or are we talking about what I would term as soccer?
The proper football, soccer football, as in. Yeah.
Proper football. So who's your team, bro?
I used to support Barcelona. I used to be an avid Barcelona fan.
How is everything going in New Zealand itself, Chris? In terms of your music career at the moment, have you got much play on radio stations? Any nationals over there or anything like that?
It's funny when it comes to that stuff, actually, because New Zealand has been one of the only countries that has not played my music because my family pointed this out earlier. Actually, they were saying it's funny because Australia has played it, the UK has played it, even Japan has played it, but New Zealand, where I live, they haven't played it yet. There have been smaller internet radio stations that have played my music earlier on.
It's a shame, like I say, it's wake up, New Zealand. You've got an amazing talent here, like right under your nose. You're going to want to grab this guy before he goes over to California and people realise how awesome he is, and he's absolutely huge in a year's time. So wake up, New Zealand. That is what I would say. Wake up to the awesome, amazing, homegrown talent that you have there in Chris Justin. I know you formed a band quite young. What was the name of the band and how old were you when you first formed?
So the name of the band is Slipstream, and I believe we were like 8. Yeah, I think I was 8, and one of my older band members was 9 at the time. So we were still in primary school, and we just thought, why don't we just jam in one of our dad's garages or something? And that sort of took off, and we didn't play covers at all. Actually, I think we just started composing our own stuff from the beginning, which now that I look back on it is a little strange, but I think it was well worth it because then it just meant that we were starting out young, and we were just young songwriters, I guess. But yeah, we were mainly an instrumental group, and we used to play at the local bar that's now tragically turned into a row of apartments. It used to be called Masonic Tavern, where heaps of well-known New Zealand bands have come and gone. But we used to open for my previous guitar teacher's band. They're a progressive metal band called Mothra, and we used to open for them all the time. Like before their set, we would just go into the bar and just play a couple of our originals because we were all instrumental. None of us sang. So we just go and play a couple of songs, get paid, and then just sit back, play, some pool or something. And it was quite funny because we were so short at the time that we couldn't actually hold the pool cues properly. So we just basically stand at the edge of the table and try to just hit balls across. But they'd play their set, and then we'd just, leave and drink a glass of Coke or something. Yeah, that's what we used to do as a band. And then we went through high school, members changed, and we ended up as a three-piece band for quite some time, and still playing instrumentals until I started singing later, around the age of 15, 16. And that was when we started writing music on, I'd probably say, a slightly higher level. Started writing lyrics. We started writing probably more commercially accessible music. In fact, we released an album in 2017. That was our debut album. It's out on Spotify actually. If you search up Slipstream Skylights, that should come up with our band. It's just our three faces, and that music is, you can see it's quite similar to the classic rock influences that I was following at the time. But yeah, that's kind of our last big release was that album.
Okay. So what do you think your plans for the future, or are you just going to sort of let the chips fall where they fall?
I think the latter, because the rest of my bandmates, they've all gone to do their own things. Or like my drummer has gone on to study to become an engineer, and my bassist has gone to study double bass at University of Auckland, and he's studying jazz. So he'll probably be playing as like a session musician for some pretty good jazz groups.
Because you guys started so young, obviously. That's why he's probably gravitated to double bass, because he's the guitar being so much bigger. So I can imagine when you guys were like 8, 9 years. What were you playing at 8, 9 years old? Were you playing the Gibson at 8, 9 years old?
Yeah, I was. It was.
Oh my god!
it looked massive. It looked huge. I'm a small guy anyway, so.
The fretboard's so wide, man. Your poor little hands and that. You must have the most stretched tendons in your fretting hand, bro.
Yeah, I mean, my left hand's actually slightly bigger than my right, because I don't know if you can see that, but it's slightly bigger than my right. Mainly because I have no idea whether it was because I played piano and that was because of the octaves, or guitar stretching.
So do you think maybe you will be open to being in another band, or do you think sort of carrying on the solo road is the way that you go?
I think there's no harm like starting another band. I'm actually very keen to start another band, but I think my main focus would still be along the solo path. But I'd really like to have like another band with a couple other guys that really plays anything between soul to progressive metal or anything like that. I wouldn't mind, and I'd enjoy it thoroughly. Which is what I'm looking forward to when I go to USC, because there'll be other musicians who have also been waiting to just get into different bands and start playing gigs at different places and performing for the rest of the cohort and stuff like that. So it's going to be super fun. I can't wait.
Do you know what? I'm green with jealousy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're gonna have the time of your life, bro. Do you know what I mean? You deserve it. You're a great guy. You're super talented, man. And I wish you all the very best for the future. And here on SLE Radio and on the Sunday service with Grunge Norris, we are going to be taking an interest, in your career, Chris. Going on forward from now, and we'll be keeping an eye on you in the same way a mother duckling does her duckies, and that. It's like you're one of our little ducklings now, man. Do you know what I mean? One of our little SLE, and we're gonna watch you swim out into the river and dominate, man. That's hopefully what you're gonna do.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Okay, everyone, thank you very much for joining us for the first interview on SLE Radio for the Sunday service with me, Grunge Norris. I have been joined today by the awesome Christopher Justin from Auckland, New Zealand. I just want to say thank you so much to Chris today for joining us for the interview.
Thanks for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I look forward to coming back.
No worries, man. We look forward to having you back, and we look forward to seeing your stars zooming across that sky, man. I'm sure you know you're gonna take everything by.
Cheers, man. Thanks very much.
No worries, and thanks a lot for watching the interview here, guys. We will be back with another interview with another one of the talented artists that we know very soon. I've been Grunge Norris, interviewing Chris Justin for SLE Radio. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.